everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Yahua, and since I post my live update video last time, I got some questions in terms of I suddenly announced that I got married. So today's video will be a getting ready with me while I answer some of your questions. Let's get started, shall we? I don't even know what I'm getting ready for, and I saw that on the internet there are people are saying that
no one really cared for getting ready with me kind of video.
But I still find this kind of form of, doing something here while chatting to you is like a very relaxed way of us catching up. Apologize if the light's gonna get dark later because now it's literally 4:25 in the afternoon, and then LA recently it has been raining. It's gonna be winter, so winter time also means that at 5 p.m. it's gonna be completely dark outside. So I need to hurry up before the room becomes darker. Anyhow, first of all, the most asked question is my partner a Chinese or a foreigner? I guess a lot of people are curious about these questions, but I find this question also very interesting, as if the world only have 2 or 3 types of people. One type is Chinese and the other one is non-Chinese. Yeah, I got it because most of my audience are Chinese anyway. So my partner, he is Asian Australian with Chinese descendant. He's Australian and he can also understand Mandarin. So you tell me whether he's Chinese or a foreigner. On a daily basis, when we communicate, I speak a mix of Mandarin and English when I'm with him. He can understand Mandarin, but sometimes if I'm trying to discuss something that's complicated, I have to use English because he wouldn't understand everything that I said. But yeah, we are all descendant of Long, so I guess still easier when we both share the same race, same kind of culture, so that we wouldn't have that much friction between us. The second question is, how did we meet? Just give you some background information of my social circles. As I am in the Faculty of Arts, I have been doing arts and humanities ever since I undergrad. So my social circles are usually girls or gays. If I meet some straight guys, they're usually taken. With my limited social circle, I think if I want to find straight guys as my potential partner, the only way that I can do that is through dating app. I wouldn't specify which dating app is that because the app didn't pay me money for it. I also know that there's some kind of stigma behind the use of dating app, but I feel like the app is just a technology, and depending on how you want to use it, it's like LinkedIn. You broaden your network, or social media platforms nowadays, you can meet more people, especially when you only have a small circle like me. But then there are some interesting story behind the use of dating app. At the time that I met my partner, I was starting my PhD, and I felt like my life was very great. I don't need a man in my life. I am gonna start a new degree. I have scholarship, so I finally don't need to worry about paying bills whatsoever. And I'm sort of settling down with my life in Melbourne. Yeah, so I didn't need a man. I didn't really intentionally want to seek a boyfriend at that time. So the reason why I was on dating app, I have a bestie in Melbourne. So at that time, she just broke up with her ex. It has been a while, but she still missed that guy. And then we're saying that, look, there's an ocean of guys over there. Why are you still so into this douchebag? You should move on. You should go out and see other people. And then we were encouraging her to use dating app. But then for her ex was her first relationship and she never used dating app before. So she's felt this a bit daunting. In order to encourage her, me and my other friend, we were saying that, okay, how about this? We will download the app together in this room, and then we'll also register a profile there so that we can swipe things together so that you wouldn't find it too daunting to be on the dating app. So that's how I clearly remember on the night that we're at her apartment, we're in the living room, and I was sitting on the sofa and I downloaded that dating app, and then I also set up a profile, throw some questions, some photos in there, and we're chatting just start checking seeing what's the guy the algorithm's gonna match you with. And then I started matching with some guys and my partner was one of them. So I guess my point is I didn't expect to find a life partner on that app. Maybe it's because I didn't have that much expectation, and then until I met him, I find that he's way exceeded my expectation because he's such a great guy. Things just happen so naturally and we're together. Okay, let me do my Okay, eyeliner down. It's getting really dark here. I can barely see things clearly. But next question, what traits of my partner attract me? So I think overall, he's a very ambitious person, but in the meantime, she's also very caring. So I find that lots of ambitious people, because they want to achieve so much in their life, they might be workaholic to a point that they might not even care that much about their family. So usually it's like their family became the backbone of them, or like the family supports them so that they can chase their dreams. But my partner, I think he's not that kind of person. Although he's very ambitious, he's like passionate about his field, but in the meantime, he cares about my feeling. He also shares the responsibility at home, like in terms of like doing chores, little things like that. He also have this willingness to learn. He also have a PhD, and so do I. But it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, after he received his PhD, he didn't stop there. He still want to like learn new stuff. He's still open to explore other fields, just continue growing. So I find that kind of trait very attractive. Like, because I also want to like continue learning and become a lifelong learner, but not just like being satisfied with whatever we achieve nowadays. And I think we're very compatible in terms of our personalities and traits. So I find this very cute artwork online to describe a relationship between an ENFP, that would be me, my MBTI, between an ENFP and ISTJ, which is his MBTI. Complete opposite of me. ENFP makes ISTJ's life more colorful, and ISTJ keeps ENFP on track, preventing them to do stupid shit. This is exactly what's happening. So this image can literally capture the dynamic between us. I'm the one who is more emotional. I like doing arts related stuff. And then my partner will be a very logical person, that he will make sure that I don't do very spontaneous decisions, which I always do that. Like today, if I'm the person like him, I wouldn't film a video at like 4 p.m. when I already know that the sun is going down. What is the next question? All right, the final question is about the decision behind moving to a new country and how my parents react to our sudden notice of marriage. I think I want to answer these two questions at the same time because it's like kind of relevant to each other. It sounds like a sudden decision that I let my parents know that I'm gonna get married, but it's not a completely sudden decision because I told them like ahead of time. I think he's a good guy. I might consider moving with him, and then we might consider moving to another country in the future. So it's like an idea that is slowly brewing in my brain, and I also telling my family and my friends about that. So it's a long-term plan. It's not like we suddenly want to go to this country, but we plan ahead. Another thing is that I'm also open to this idea of moving to another place because it's just like very common for people in academia in terms of this idea of academic mobility. People always like find a postdoc elsewhere in order to facilitate this global network of knowledge exchanging. Yeah, people just move around and get different contracts. Even though I didn't meet my partner, I think I would still consider moving to elsewhere, not just staying in Australia. I also like this idea of moving because I think that's how you can enrich your life experience. With that being said, for my parents, I always keep in touch with them even though we're not living in the same country. Especially my mom, she always knew that what's going on in my life. I always let her know that the friends that I made, what did we do when we hang out, the boys that I met. So she knows every single of them so that she can also help me to judge whether this person is a douchebag or not. Ever since I got together with my partner, I let my parents know. And then I think they also like him, even though they didn't meet him in person. Or maybe they secretly didn't accept him, but I didn't know about that. But anyway, so the issue is that my parents parents, it takes more time for them to process this idea of us gonna like potentially moving to the US. Now I need to explain the reason why I chose Australia to study abroad in the first place. When I decided to study abroad, we were thinking about which country to choose, right? And that was around 2016. And then at that time, US always have this issue of gun violence, so that my parents didn't find going to the US would be like a safe option. And then if I say I consider going to the UK or to Europe, they'll be like, this is so far away. And I also felt like, okay, Brexit was happening around that time, so Europe probably wouldn't be that safe either. So in comparison, Australia or Canada are the two destinations among all these like developed Western countries that would be like the safe option. So I picked Australia because it was like a relatively easy option to me, and also because I wasn't so decisive at the time. So I listened to my parents' advice and I just chose Australia. In the past few years, as I live in Australia and I also get to know people from other places in the world, I start to learn that Australia is not the safest country either if you want to compare to like any countries in Asia. In these recent years, Australia also have issues with crime rates are increasing, teens, violence, etc. So yeah, I feel like all of these countries outside of Asia, they more or less are similar. Some places are more dangerous than the others, but it doesn't mean that this country is overall a dangerous place. Coming back to the questions about my parents' reaction. So when they first learned that I might go to the US one day in the future, they felt like the world is so big. Why did you pick the US? Why can't you go to elsewhere? Seem to be safer. Why does it have to be US? So that they didn't really accept that in the first place. But over the years, I think my parents changed a little bit. They became more open-minded, which I think is amazing for people who are live their whole life in China, didn't really have that much chance to travel overseas. For people who are in their middle age and still willing to learn new stuff, especially the stuff coming from outside of China. So yeah, my parents are amazing. They're learning new stuff. They're becoming more open-minded, so that at this point, I guess they just understand that if I want to be a global talent, they can't really do much about it. They can't help much when I'm living in the West. It's just like way beyond their radar. This is so dark. I can't even see the shadows on my face. Let me turn. Yeah, it's a completely different setting, but I finally can see it clearly on what's going on in my face. In general, I would say that it's not easy to manage the relationship between myself and my own family. I'm still navigating. Final thing is my lip. I like using lip pencil lately. And then for the lip product, I'm gonna try this sample from NARS. Let's try this one, No Rules. Oh, I actually like this color, and that should summarize my getting ready with me and my quick Q&A. All right, everyone, I think I might end here. I just really don't like the lighting. It's like a lamp on top of me. I haven't gotten any lighting that allows me to do shooting at night. We're getting ready to do nothing. We're probably gonna go to Trader Joe's for grocery shopping. But it's so miserable and dark outside and it started raining. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Next video should be the vlog on my wedding day, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!